We've discussed a lot of different ways to publish your book and locations to publish it. But what about Barnes and Noble? Is that something you should consider? We'll stick around because that's what we're going to talk about today. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. So what are we talking about? Barnes and Noble, self-publishing. You're going to want to read this or listen or view this before using it. So let's get straight into it. So Barnes and Noble, self-publishing, right? Overview of the program. So let's take a close look. So in terms of the program that they have a whole bunch of different options where you can both get your book in terms of doing formatting and other things like that, and your cover and these things, as well as selling your books on there. And this is usually dealing with just the paperback and the ebook version. But they'll do all sorts of stuff. They'll be able to help with the writing process, the editing, formatting, pricing, distribution, marketing, lots of different aspects that they're able to do. And it's built to handle both people who are established and aspiring writers who want to enhance their writing skills and actually getting these things out onto the market with their specific books. But what about payments and royalties? Well, with Barnes & Noble self-publishing, they pay their authors between 40 and 65% of the list price, which is really not that bad. That's actually a pretty good price based upon the sales that you're going to be expecting on the platform compared to other platforms. And one thing they do that I really like, it's that when you're getting paid, you can choose direct deposit, or you can choose PayPal, which is something that some of the sites don't offer. Like Amazon does not offer the ability to send the money straight to PayPal. They're going to want to send it to a bank account of some sort. Does that make sense? So, but it is still important as an author who's going on to Barnes & Noble and putting your book on there to make sure that you check the terms and conditions to make sure that, as well as their pricing strategy, to see that this is in fact going to work for you, and then you're okay with the earnings that you're going to receive based upon the way they have things set up. So, features of self-publishing with Barnes & Noble. So, if you go with the self-publishing side of things with them, you're going to get a wide distribution through its online stores and its partnership with Ingram, and that really helps it get these things out into different retailers for distribution, as well as even libraries. And they have really competitive royalties because you're going to be able to get that 65% on ebooks and up to 70% on print books, which is really fantastic. When you compare with Amazon, I know on many of my books I'm getting like, I think 40-50% or something like that with the print books. Now with the ebooks, it can get up 70%. So it depends upon where you see your sales coming in and which platform's right for you. But maybe you want to go wide, so you're having a little better distribution, and that's exactly where Barnes & Noble will fit into the picture for your books. Now, self-published authors, they use this particular platform, and what do they get? What type of services? They're able to get support services, including marketing tools, formatting assistance, and promotional opportunities. So there are a lot of different services that are offered there. Keep in mind, many of these are also offered on Amazon. So how does Barnes & Noble Press work? Well, the thing is, it allows the platform allows for authors to upload their book files and create their book covers, set their book prices to make sure that they have it on there. Then you can expect to see those earnings that I was talking about when you're coming from the books, based upon whether it's the paperback or it's the ebook version. And in terms of the services, you don't have to use all of the services they have, and they're going to be charging for them. So you have to decide, do you need editing or design, or you wish to find those editors, designers, and these sorts of things yourself, where you don't have to be completely dependent upon them to do that. So how long does Barnes & Noble Press review take? Well, it depends a little bit upon the type of book that you're dealing with. So if you're dealing with something, a reasonable amount of time is 24 to 72 hours. Now, your paperbacks are going to take more time than your ebooks, but the whole process will also be slower during the busy periods like the holiday season and such. Then it's going to be much more difficult to get your book out in such a short period of time. And so it can be affected by all of these things when you're dealing with also the complexity of the book file and the metadata, and then the volume of submissions that they're receiving on the platform, which is back to the seasonal issue. So, which countries are eligible for Barnes & Noble Press? Well, Actually, you can do it anywhere in the world, so they don't have a restriction that says, but you have to keep in mind when it comes to taxes and such, they're not going to be as helpful in some areas in making sure the taxes are going to be coming through exactly right for all the countries on earth. The other thing is they're really targeting authors in the United States, so that's their main market. They really are looking to push and sell the books inside the United States market. So what if your books would have sold to these other markets? So you need to be a little bit careful when going with this. Even though they do have global distribution, the majority of their work is just targeted to the United States, and it may not be available in some of the countries you'd like to see your book get published in, or at least be sent through those different countries. So how do I get paid from Barnes & Noble? Well, as we were discussing, you can either have your U.S. bank account, a direct transfer, or you can choose a PayPal account. And either one of these can be good options for you. But you have to keep in mind that if it's a direct payment, they have a payment threshold of $10. So you have to have earned at least $10 in the month. Otherwise, it just rolls over to the next month on the direct payment. Now on PayPal, it's $25. But keep in mind, PayPal is a lot easier to use anywhere on the earth you are. But PayPal takes higher fees. So that's also something to consider. I personally prefer direct payment when we're dealing with where exactly we want the money to go. Okay, Amazon, though, on the other hand, is very flexible on virtually all of these different issues. As I go through my coaching clients on a regular basis, just taking a look and seeing which route works best for you when it comes to publishing your book. So, how to self-publish on Barnes & Noble Press. So there's a couple things you're going to need to know. The first thing is you're going to pick your book format. Now, they only are able to do paperback. No, they can do some different formats, but you have to keep in mind only paperback and ebook. So they're not really going to be covering your audiobook and these other formats. So, and it also depends upon the format that you're choosing. I personally recommend highly just to do it in all the different formats, but if you have to choose, look at your audience and see which formats they're choosing. Does that make sense? The next thing you need to do is upload all your files. You need to make sure your files are ready. The manuscript, the cover, the design, any other supporting or supplementary materials that they're going to be also included in there. And you include your files to meet the platform's formatting and technical requirements. And they're going to have that listed. You're going to be able to see exactly what they expect. So when it comes to you can use an EPUB version for your ebook. And that's the same version you're able to use on Amazon. I personally like to do the formatting in Jutoh, which I find to be an incredibly easy tool to use. And you can check out below my affiliate link for Jutoh, or my course on self-publishing, formatting made easy for self-publishers. So where we go through exactly that process. The other thing is you're going to want to double check your files for any errors or inconsistencies before uploading in order to avoid the total time that's going to take, and they're going to have issues with those exact books. So that's something else that you should really be careful in thinking about when you're uploading the book to make sure that the formatting is correct. The third point there is that you should publish. You're just going to take the books that you have and you're going to still fill out the metadata. So you have the book's metadata, such as like the title, the description, keywords, the categories you're going to be using, and then you need to choose the pricing and royalty options. They have some options just like they do on Amazon, the ones that work best for you, and then just click the publish option, and you're just going to wait for that book to go live. So how it compares to other self-publishing platforms. Well, the first thing is it has really strong distribution channels. So it's a well-established bookseller in the United States and has a decent market share of the U.S. market, right? They give competitive royalties when you compare to some of the other sites like Amazon and such, where they have here, they're offering 65 to 70% or 65% on the ebooks, and we're mentioning the 70% on the paperback books. It also is, it's easy to use. The platform itself is very intuitive. So this is definitely something you should consider if intuitive platforms is an important subject for you. So should you upload your book to Barnes & Noble? Well, it depends upon the target audience. They have a strong presence in the US, so if your book is in Spanish, maybe not so much. Or if it's in French or something, you're going to want to target the French market. But then how are you going to do that, since they're really not using that much money in order to push it in terms of visibility in these other countries? But the royalties, as we commented, they were looking very marketable, so that definitely is a plus there. And the other thing is the distribution channels. So it offers the distribution online stores and its retail stores, so you can actually end up on the bookshelves in Barnes & Noble by going about and publishing books on their platform. So pros of using Barnes & Noble self-publishing. So the first thing is this wide distribution. So we're able to get it out, especially with that Ingram side of things, really able to get it out in as big and wide of distribution as humanly possible. And they have competitive royalties, as we saw that earlier, compared to other sites like Amazon. They're very competitive, so it's not like you're going to make a lot more money per sale on Amazon or anywhere else for that matter. And ease of use for the platform itself, making it very easy to get on the platform, figure out how it's working, upload your files, set up your account. It's very easy to do that. Now, the cons of using Barnes & Noble self-publishing. The first is a limited market. It's really just targeting the U.S. market. So that's going to be a problem if you're looking to make money outside of the U.S. market. In addition, they have limited format options. There's really only the two formats like we mentioned, the print and the ebook. And that means if you're looking to do audiobooks or other multimedia projects, formats, this is going to be a problem for you. And the final point is limited marketing support. They have some services, but really not as much as other platforms. So that puts them a little bit behind on that front. So if you're not able to or ready to do it yourself, then maybe this platform shouldn't be the first platform you should shoot for. I personally do recommend just going with Amazon first, but this is definitely an option for a second location. Or if you hate Amazon, then you could definitely go straight to going for Barnes & Noble as one of the options you can go for. So is Barnes & Noble Press free? Well, that's fantastic because they don't charge a single thing if you're publishing your book, but they do take a certain cut of the royalties. So from 30 to 65% for ebooks and 20 to 55% for print books. So they're going to take their cut. And so you have to keep that in mind. They're not working for free. They do need to be paid as well. And they have all other author services that they have that, of course, they're going to charge. If you're doing editing and designing and marketing support, they're definitely going to be charging you. They're not going to do that for free for you. So as you can see, in conclusion, Barnes & Noble has a lot to offer. They have many services that they have. Their pricing is very reasonable. They're willing to give a decent share of the profits that they make to their authors to have, which is fantastic, but it's only mostly in the United States that they're targeting, and that might be a deal breaker if this is a very important subject to you, to exactly how far of a distribution channels you're going to need, and also in terms of do you want it to be available in other countries when you're trying to evaluate, should I go with this one, or maybe you should go with Amazon as your first primary self-publishing company that you want to push the sell it through for the distribution channels. Okay, my question for you today is, have you tried publishing with Barnes & Noble Press? If you have, write yes below in the comments, and if you've never done it, write no below in the comments, because I need to know exactly where you're coming from. And check above me here for more video answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.